The story of Robert DAVILA. You know who that is? No, you don't, because I do. 3 months ago, I gave khutbah in Fort Worth. My khutbah was about dua. An Egyptian fellow comes up to me, a young man came up to me afterwards, he goes, Allah fulfilled my dua today. And I said, what's your dua? He said, my dua was that Nu'man Ali Khan should meet Robert DAVILA. I was like, are you Robert DAVILA? He goes, nope, I am not Robert DAVILA. Robert DAVILA is my friend. But I think Allah is fulfilling my dua. I was like, fire away, I want to know. Robert DAVILA is a young man who lives in a town 40 minutes past Fort Worth. He was a farmer, young guy. And he was hit with some sort of genetic disorder that kicked in later on in his life, and he became paralyzed from the neck down. And he lives in a nursing home. And he's been in that nursing home for the last 10 years. His family got a computer for him that's voice activated, so he can give voice commands, put a headphone on and Google stuff and search stuff so he can surf the web and find information. And by the way, staunch Christian family, the minister comes and prays for him every week and things like that. And his best friend was in the bed next to him. One of his best friends. He became best friends because he met him at the nursing home. This person was also paralyzed and he needed a new liver. Okay? A liver transplant. He was waiting for a liver transplant. And they used to talk about, God and things like that all the time. They were good friends. Finally, his best friend got a call that there's a donor available for the liver. So he's so excited. He goes, Robert, I'm going to miss you, but I'm going. I've got a donor. So they take his friend and they go into the operation, and his friend died at the operating table. Now his friend, who's also a Christian, the deceased friend, his sister, took one of the amulets of his friend, a crucifix, and she gave it as a gift to Robert. This is a reminder of your old buddy. So he hung it on the side of his hospital bed. Robert DAVILA lives a pretty decent life in there. The nurses take care of him. He's a happy guy. And one day he goes to sleep and he sees a man in his dream. That man says his name is Muhammad. And he says, pointing at the crucifix, God did not send messengers so they would worship.
Oh, you want to know about my dream?
Yes.
Alright, well, actually, like in the dream, what it was I was kind of standing there. It was odd, because most of my dreams, I have now since I'm paralyzed, in my dream, my legs hurt. They feel like tree trunks and I can't move, and I'm in pain, because I guess I'm dreaming because I'm in pain. But this time I was just standing there. And then a little around the way from me, about 20 feet or so away to my left, I was in a desert area. There were like sand dunes, a little. And to my left, there was a group of men gathered around the person who was standing up talking to him. And it was by firelight, because it was almost nighttime, wasn't quite dark, but it was dark enough for a fire. And they had it going. And you could tell these men were listening to him intently. So I'm like, okay, this man very important. And then also to my right was the crucifix setting up that I'd had in my room, but it was like life size. I was sitting there and I'm like, okay, what's going on, And then suddenly the man, he was standing there and he was giving hand gestures. You could tell he was talking and saying something very important. Well, he had turned to me and he looked at me and he says, look. He pointed to the crucifix and he said, look, this was a man, a prophet, he'd eat food, drink water, go to the bathroom just like every other man. He's not a god, only a prophet, just, follow God, not men. And then I woke up, and then it wasn't so long after I woke up and gathered myself. Because right when he turned to me and talked to me and told me that, I knew right then and there it was the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And then, I woke up, and then, like I said, I had to gather myself to figure what just happened, and that was real. Because at this time, I had been studying about Islam and everything, and I had learned the Shahada and other things, but I hadn't taken it yet. It was September of 2011. When I woke up from the dream that I had, I lay there and I thought to myself that, I had to gather everything together, and I said, that was the Prophet Muhammad, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Right there on my bed, I just, without even thinking, I was just, I said, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluhu. Amen.